morning mga katribo. Welcome to another episode of Daily Tribune Straight Talk where we discuss the current issues that matter to each of us. This is Gigie, Arcilla.
Good morning, I'm Chito, Lozada. We are live on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now on YouTube.
This morning, we are face-to-face with the Legal and Corporate Affairs Sustainability Director of a company whose brand we are familiar with. Chito, do you remember the advertising line that says from way back, wala pa ring tatalo sa Alaska?
We grew up with that line.
Yeah, so...
Mga katribu, Attorney Angela Esquivel, Vice President of Alaska Milk Corporation. Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning. Magandang umaga.
Good
Gigie
morning.
and Chito.
Yes.
Can you please introduce what is the story behind the ad line of Alaska to our viewers?
Okay. Siguro, lahat naman tayo lumaki sa Alaska. It's a good start.
Not
Sige.
the country,
Yeah, trivia. Not the country. Okay. I remember today when I transferred to Alaska in 2017. Kasi I had a law firm in partnership with several friends. So I had to ask permission from clients, no. I told them I'm transferring to Alaska. Sabi nila, di po ba malamig doon? Sabi ko, no, not the country, Alaska Milk Corporation. Anyway, so going back to the question. It was in 1972 when we started operating in the Philippines. So, but it's not called Alaska Milk that time. It's Holland Milk Products, Inc. Holland Milk. Hompi. Okay. So, I think it's a partnership. Siyempre, I researched din, no? Kasi wala pa naman ako nung 1972.
Yeah.
Di pa ako pinapanganak nun. Okay. So, it's a partnership between General Milling Corporation and another foreign entity which is now known as Fisan Campina. So, second win na talaga mamaya, siguro fast track tayo. Second win na ng partnership between Alaska and Fisan Campina noong 2012. Kasi before, nag-partner na sila noong 1972. And then, nagkaroon ng spin-off sa Hompi, naging Alaska Milk siya eventually in 1994. 1994, if I'm not mistaken. 94. But the famous taglines, which is, wala pa rin tatalo sa Alaska. And ang galing mo man, di ba? 1974 yun.
Basketball.
Yes, 1974. So it was the TV commercial starring Cisco Oliver.
Yeah.
Maybe
and the child
Yeah,
model.
yung wavy hair na...
Yes, oo. And Michael Uitingsu, yung bata.
Right, yeah.
Pero hindi po siya yung bata sa lata ng Alaska Milk. Yes, akala kasi natin, di ba?
Yeah, kasi yung may magkamukha.
We grew up thinking that it's the same boy.
Ako, yeah.
Oo.
Yun iniisip
So
ko.
it's not.
So it's not. So it was in 1974 when we had that famous TV commercial. And dun nga sumikat yung galing mo man. Tas, wala pa ring tatalo sa Alaska. Diba?
Correct.
Yeah. In fact, until now, whenever I go to government offices where I am required to surrender an ID, and then I give my Alaska ID, the security guards would say, galing mo man, o kaya, wala pa rin tatalo sa Alaska. Nakakatawa ng puso.
Talagang
Yung
memory
jingle.
recall.
Yes, memory recall. And surprisingly, even mga bata na hindi naman nila naabutan yung TV ads na yon,
Yeah.
when we go to communities, they would sing that famous tagline, wala pa rin tatalo sa Alaska.
Could
So
be
parang
because
ano,
of
Sa parents siguro.
naririnig sa parents, tapos parang
Or
pag
sa
narinig mo
social
talaga yung
media.
Alaska, di ba? Social media. Of course, may mga nakikita rin kami na monitor ng mga memes, di ba? Sa social media. Pero okay lang. It only means na household name talaga ang Alaska, di ba?
So, is that the reason why hindi kayo naglalabas ng mga bagong, ads na still carrying that, because the company knows na parang may memory recall na, even if you don't, come out with ads na parang sustaining that line.
Yeah, true. When you have a strong brand and strong brand recall, magdadalawang isip ka whether you would want to introduce something new. If it's working, 'di ba? Why fix it? Sabi nga, 'di ba? Okay naman siya up until now, even sa mga Gen Z natatandaan siya. So we'd rather stick to that. I mean, when you say Alaska, it's traditional eh. It's a traditional brand. So parang walang value added kung ilalabas mo siya dun sa nakasanayan na wala pa rin
Cisco,
tatalo.
di ba?
Yeah, I mean,
Diba?
same line, same ad line.
Meaning the...
New advertisement kasi parang hindi ako masyado
okay. Yung mga
nakakakita.
ads ni Alaska, if you will recall, it's always about family. Family values, integrity, because those are the principles where that we live by through the years. And if you ask me now, ano yung mga, sa tingin mo, attorney, ano yung mga prinsipyo na matatandaan ng Filipino consumers ng Alaska? It's always integrity, transparency, respect, family values, diba? Health, nutrition. We've been consistent about that. Diba?
Yung resiliency.
Resilience.
Through the years.
Oh,
Still
even
Alaska.
dun, nung meron pa kaming basketball team, those are the same principles that the basketball team has always lived by, diba?
So, ayun. Inumpisahan natin ang ad line, Chito. So, perhaps we could ask attorney, ano ba ang ibig sabihin to be an operating company of Royal Friesland Campina?
Okay. Sige. So, siguro hindi ito masyadong alam ng ating mga consumers.
Yeah.
But we always share this story because they have to know. But people tend to forget because of, pag sinabi mo Alaska, it's really a Filipino company, di ba? Way back in 2012, Alaska Milk has been, majority of the shares of Alaska Milk Corporation has been purchased by Royal Friesland Campina.
When we say majority, attorney.
So it's 98 point something percent. So almost 100, practically 100%.
Full ownership.
Yes, because 1995, Alaska Milk was listed in PSE. Okay. So in 2012, when Friesland Campina bought majority of the shares, it was already delisted from PSE. So Friesland Campina bought back whatever shares are in the hands of the public. And so now, Alaska Milk is almost 100% owned by Friesland Campina. So Friesland Campina is a Dutch cooperative of farmers with 150 years of farming experience. So the good thing is, hindi po nawala si Alaska. Alaska is still here, still the same Alaska, but with an additional flavor.
So what's,
Meaning,
sorry.
yeah, siguro I can just quickly share, no? Ano yung value added ba ni Friesland Campina kay Alaska? Yung 150 years of farming experience niya. Yes. So even if we say na anong value added nun, wala naman tayong masyadong supply ng local fresh milk. In fact,
Correct.
1% lang, 'di ba? Supply versus demand. Ano pa rin? Majority is imported pa rin. But through Friesland Campina, Alaska Milk has been supporting dairy farmers through capability building trainings. Kasi our aim is to share with them Friesland Campina's 150 years of farming experience so we can improve naman our farming practices. We're not saying na mali yung ginagawa natin na farming, no? But of course, there are better ways of doing it in such a way that we can improve the volume and quality of our local fresh milk. So we've been doing that since 2020 at the height of the lockdown. Yes.
So how many percent are imported na milk?
Kasi 2020 pa lang naman tayo nag-start, no? So we cannot expect realistically, wala pa siyang impact doon sa volume. But
Okay.
we are looking at at a business case now. Hopefully, in maybe 2 to 3 years, Alaska Milk can somehow, kahit slowly, by small steps, we can source already fresh milk from
Local producers.
our country, local farmers, yes.
Alright.
Within 5 years?
Sana earlier than 5 years. Last year, November, we launched this Philippine-Netherlands Dairy Excellence Center. It was actually witnessed by the Department of Agriculture, National Dairy Authority, because we've been working with them as well. And then partners natin doon is University of the Philippines, Dairy Training and Research Institute, and also some NGOs. So, sila yung tumutulong sa atin in our capability building trainings. And then, yun nga, hopefully, I don't want to disclose muna further details, but we are working on a business case on how we can sooner rather than later source fresh milk from our own local dairy farmers.
Correct.
Saan ba tong area na to, attorney?
Sa Southern Luzon, sa Laguna area, Laguna, Batangas, kasi yung plant ng Alaska is in San Pedro, Laguna.
Wala ba sa Mindanao banda?
Wala pa tayo
Bukid
doon
doon?
wala pa. But, we do not limit yung capability building trainings natin sa mga farmers in Luzon, ha. We have participants as far as Mindanao also. So, anybody who's interested, they can sign up. Yan.
Meron ba
Parang dairy
tayong
farm.
figure? How many dairy farmers do we have in the Philippines?
Meron tayo, but I don't want to be misquoted. No? Siyempre, nasa NDA naman lahat ng figures na yan. So, I'd rather leave it to the experts when it comes to...
Yeah, I mean, is it like, are we talking about more than 10,000?
Oh, yes. Yes. Actually, ako mismo na-surprise. Before we launched the dairy development program in the Philippines, there were a lot of reservations internally. In fact, in all of recent Campinas operating companies, nandiyan na si Dairy Development Program. Last na ang Pilipinas. One of the two. Yung isa, Ivory Coast. So, when I was tasked to do it, in fact, when I joined Alaska in 2017, to be honest with you, it wasn't part of my role. Kasi abogado naman ako. Ano ba kinalaman ko sa farming?
Sa
di ba?
farming.
Oo.
Technical eh.
Yes. So, come 2018, I started hearing na in other operating companies, yung corporate affairs director nila is leading dairy development. So, naturally, sa akin din mapupunta yun, di ba? So, sabi ko sa ko, okay lang, challenge yan, something new to learn, di ba? So, we started asking around, talking to local dairy farmers. Isa lang naman yung sasabihin sa'yo mahirap yan kasi yung klima natin hindi appropriate for dairy farming, di ba?
Is that so?
Oh, kasi mainit di ba? Normally sa sa mga malalamig na areas, mga uphill, ganyan.
Ano yun? May epekto sa production ng milk?
Yes, sa volume, tsaka sa quality ng milk. Kasi yung cow comfort ba, na tinatawag. Okay. So sabi ko sa sarili ko, paano ko kaya ito sisimulan? So, but good thing, I had the support of our entire management team, especially the managing directors in the previous years and the current managing director now. So, sabi nila, just do your thing, start small. Sabi ko, okay, I have that flexibility, sige, go lang. Diba? So, we started talking to UP, Los Baños. Diba? Kasi I learned na sa operating company namin sa Nigeria, they partnered with a similar state university. Kasi kami, ang Alaska naman is manufacturer of milk. But we do not source it from scratch, di ba, na fresh milk. So sabi ko, how can we train? Wala din tayong ganong skills, di ba? So, we started the conversation with UP, and lo and behold, ang bilis naman. Very willing si UP to partner with us. And then at the height of the lockdown, we started the virtual trainings. Yan. So, 2020 yun, I think we started with about 100 farmers. Yeah. But of course, challenge yung virtual Kasi you don't know if nakakapag-focus talaga yung farmers. Kasi ang dairy farming, I learned through my farm visits, 24/7 siya. Ito yung business sa wala kang pahinga. Sabi nga ng mga farmers, attorney, serious commitment to, hindi ka pwedeng magbakasyon. Kasi, di ba, yung paggagatas, parang nanay, di ba? May oras yan. So, creature of habit ang mga, cattle. So, kung ang oras ng paggagatas ay 4 a.m. and then another one, I think, 3 p.m. in the afternoon, hindi mo pwedeng iwan yan. Kasi kung ano yung pain na nararamdaman ng humans, ganun din sila. Ganun kasakit for them pag hindi ka naggatas. Yun. Tsaka yung pagpapakain, all day sila kumakain. Ganyan. So, important yung cow comfort kasi it will impact the volume and the quality of the milk. Yan yung mga natutunan ko sa
Kaya pala, no,
pharmacy.
Tagaytay, pag sinabi mong Tagaytay, bili ka doon ng beef.
True.
Diba?
Pero,
Mas
yan,
soft
iba
yung
yung mga baka na
quality.
for steak.
Mm-mm.
Diba?
Yeah.
Yung mga milking cows, imported. We are importing them through the National Dairy Authority.
All of the cows are imported.
Why is that so?
Hindi
anong meron
yung breed ng cow na nandito sa atin,
Ah.
hindi siya appropriate for milking talaga. Alam yan ng mga local dairy farmers natin. Yan yung mga you really need to roll up your sleeves, go down to the ground and learn.
Mhm.
'Di ba? In fact, until now siguro mga not even in kinder ako, 'di ba? So, ang dami ko pa ring kailangang matutunan. So, my point is, we really need to start small or baby steps if you really want to do something and contribute something. Do not be dissuaded by mga, alam mo na, mga doubting Thomases. Madami yun eh. Mga sasabihin sa'yo, wag na, sayang lang effort mo dyan.
Pero attorney, paano arrangement niyo with the farmers? Parang meron kayong subcontract or?
Hindi. Ito lang yon. So, ang requirement lang namin, nagulat ako marami tayong mga dairy cooperatives na akala natin wala. Marami din tayong malalaking farmers,
Co-op.
Oo, madami. So, sila yung kinakausap namin, sasabihin namin, for example, we need, say, XX participants for this training. Ano po bang mga trainings yan? So, we will tell them ano yung mga nandun sa module na yan. Baka meron kayong mga gustong i-enroll na mga farmers nyo, for free po ito. Talaga po, ano yung kapalit? Yung commitment, yung time, syempre. And meron tayong undertaking. Ano yung nakasulat dun sa undertaking? Huwag nyo naman iwan ng Pilipinas. After nyo mag-train, tapos alis kayo agad, dadalhin nyo somewhere. Diba? Yung skills nyo. Magstay naman kayo ng 1 to 2 years muna.
So may agreement.
Yes,
So it's black and white.
Yes. Of course, we understand naman realistically na mas maganda yung opportunity in other countries like New Zealand, Australia, wherever, di ba? And magugulat ka, marami nag-i-intern sa UP, na mga, from all over Mindanao, pumunta pa sila ng UP. Pag tinanong mo, bakit ka nag-uproot just to have an internship? Mag-upload po ako.
Yan ang priority.
Siyempre, hindi mo rin masisi, di ba? So, yun lang yung kapalit na hinihingi namin. Kasi, kung hindi namin i-require yun, how can we create an impact to our local milk production?
Tsaka
Kung
parang-
aalis din naman
Tsaka
pala
parang
yun.
tipong it's like training them to work for other countries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. It will defeat the purpose eh. Diba?
The same thing with, pag scholar ka, kunyari, Philippine Science, meron kang undertaking, you have to...
Exactly. So we are hoping, again, fingers crossed, na sooner rather than later, we can introduce a product in the market that really has a composition, a local composition. Diba? Na talaga masasabi natin, eto, gatas Pinoy ito kasi
Gatas
talagang
Pinoy.
sinorse namin to locally. Diba?
Alright. So,
that-
nag-uumpisa pa lang tayo, haba, masyadong makwento si attorney.
Ano parang yan, mga cows.
Oo, two questions pa lang tayo. So, mga katribo, we'll be back after a quick break.
Yeah.
At marami pa tayong itatanong kay Attorney Esquivel of Alaska Milk
So,
Corporation.
stay tuned.
Nasa kamay mo ang swerte, ngunit hindi ito isang laro na para lang sa'yo. Dahil bukod sa pag-asang maging milyonaryo, ang pagtangkilik mo sa loto at ipapang produkto ng PCSO ay nakakalikom ng pondo para sa mga programang pangkalusugan, tulong at serbisyong medikal at kawang-gawa.
Lahat ng minimithi makakamtan sa PCSO.
So, welcome back mga katribo.
Yes, welcome and welcome Attorney Esquivel. So,
Esquivel,
tanungin
Attorney
natin, sa
Esquivel.
dinami-dami ng dairy products in the market, ano yung market share ng Alaska milk?
Sige. Without mentioning actual figures, siguro in general na lang, no? I could say that Alaska is still the market leader or one of the market leaders, if not the number one, in terms of culinary. Meaning yung
Culinary.
liquid milk. Yung traditional
alright.
na Alaska has been known for.
Liquid.
Evaporada, condensada, ayan. Yan naman talaga ang ang Alaska brands, 'di ba?
Halo-halo.
Oo, especially pag summer, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Pag sinabi mo halo-halo.
Because of recon, or is there another factor? But
Of course, affordability,
affordability.
'di ba?
yeah.
Taste. Pagka ikaw nanay ka, Gigie, 'di ba?
Oo.
Ano ba yung number one consideration mo pagka, let's say, nando ka sa
Gagawa.
shelf ng ng gatas, ng culinary milk, ano yung una mong consideration?
Siyempre yung bebenta sa mga bata. I mean, what's the use of, buying kung naka-stock lang because they don't want it.
Waste of money yun, di ba?
Yeah.
So, yung
Lalo na
lasa,
sa
di ba?
Fruit salad.
Exactly.
Champurado.
Alaska lang, hindi pwede iba eh.
Oo. Ano ba ang fiesta kung wala kang fruit salad? Diba? Or leche
Yes.
flan?
Yeah,
Leche plan.
Oo.
Condense and evap na kaagad yun.
Yes. Oo.
Alright. So, tanungin natin. Actually, maiksi lang daw bago tayo dun sa ibang mahahabang topic tungkol sa PBA. Wala bang balak ang Alaska? at,
Naging sports ka.
Hindi naman. Hindi kasi, hindi naman. Naririnig ko
Oo nga.
pag may nanonood ng game on
Kasi yun
TV.
din ang kasama doon sa
Yeah.
pagkabata mo. Eh.
Wala bang
May
plan ng Alaska,
PBA
to
team.
revive a team?
Oo. Actually, it's a question that we always get from people. No? Kasi talaga namang it's really a sad but necessary decision that we had to make. It's a difficult decision, especially for our chairman, Fred Uitengsu. So, as of now, as we speak, walang ganong conversation. There's no conversation about reviving, bringing it back. Yeah, so, I really can't say yes or no. Kasi very dynamic ang business eh. Di ba? So, especially in the Philippines, basketball is really big. It's really huge for us. Yung mga expats before, they don't get it. Na parang sa kanila, it's soccer, it's football, di ba? But for us, it's basketball. When Fist and Campina bought Alaska, they were wondering, why do we have a basketball team? Di ba?
That's
So we
the
have to
first question
explain.
they have to ask.
Yes. And there were opportunities, I think, in the past that the Fist and Campina leadership team visited the Philippines and they experienced watching an actual game.
So, how was it?
And that's when they realized why.
Okay.
Oo. So,
So, ang focus ngayon, talaga? Doon sa
focus is really the core of the business.
core of the business.
Which is dairy. Diba? So, I don't know. I can say yes, I can say no. Only time will tell.
Yung Chito, di ba? So, the milk, very, a chunk of it talagang imported.
Mm.
So, meron condensed milk, of course. So, kailangan ng sugar. So, pati ba yung sugar? I mean, is it locally sourced or imported din?
Ang condensed, meron tayong condensed milk plant sa San Pedro, Laguna. So, as much as possible, we would want to retain that it is locally manufactured, no? But of course, alam naman nating lahat, sugar source has been very, very challenging lately, no? There's actually a law that requires that sugar should be locally sourced only. So it's only in exceptional circumstances that we are allowed to use imported sugar. And yun nga yung controversial na sugar orders, di ba? Inevitably, since we use sugar in condensed milk, impacted tayo. Impacted yung Alaska. Maybe not as huge an impact as the others, but meron pa din. May hit pa din sa natin.
So, may
Condensed milk
price
business.
increase talaga sa condensed milk.
As much as possible, we try to absorb if kaya. Kasi, okay, ito ang kwento, no? Since ang produkto ng Alaska is milk, it's considered as a basic necessity.
Yeah.
So, under the Price Act, basic necessity, ang presyo niyan is being monitored closely by the Department of Trade and Industry. So, we have this suggested retail price list, SRP list. So, there are chosen or selected SKUs there or products na listed doon that you cannot implement any price increase without waiting for the DTI to publish that SRP bulletin.
Correct.
So, it doesn't
SRP.
happen on a monthly or not even a quarterly basis. Diba? Only when TTI thinks that it's about time to release a new SRP bulletin reflecting the price increases requested by manufacturers. So, we cannot at a whim or say, nagkaroon ng upsurge in sugar price, bigla naming ipapass on sa consumers. No. That's not how simple this story is. Ano siya, most of the time, we absorb yung mga abnormal upsurge in increases in raw material price, including sugar.
Gaano ba katagal? So, nabanggit mo na rin, attorney. So, I mean, the manufacturers will, request sa DTI for a price increase. How long does it take for, the DTI to act on, to decide or to act on the recommendation?
So we
For
are
the
required to, as manufacturer of basic necessity, we are required to submit our notification to the DTI at least 30 days prior to the supposed effectivity date of the price increase. But it would normally take DTI sometimes more than a month even to evaluate. Understandably, because they are considering several factors as well, di ba? Global pricing, hindi naman sila magre-rely lang solely din sa data that we are providing them. So, babanggiin nila yan, yung meron silang source of their own data and then yung data namin. Ina-evaluate nila yan. And then, of course, there are other factors. Ang dalas ng natural calamity sa atin, di ba? Yun ang unpredictable doon. So, minsan, ready na sila to release or publish the SRP, biglang may bagyo. Biglang may lindol. Diba? So, yun. That normally delays the process.
Okay. Doon sa mga imported inputs like milk, nagkaroon ba ng increases during the short-term period? Like yung sa Ukraine war, parang nagkaroon ng effect doon.
Oo. Actually, hindi lang Ukraine war, madami yung mga border restrictions, 'di ba? Starting 'yan from 2020 nung
pandemic.
'di ba, pandemic.
Pandemic.
So talagang global inflation talaga really
Yung
hit us
supply
hard.
chain, no?
Oo. And I cannot just speak for Alaska. I think including other businesses as well in other industries. Talagang lahat na tayo naramdaman natin yung impact ng global inflation. Diba? So, and until now, hindi pa siya natatapos. Diba?
So, hindi nagkakaroon ng pressure sa pricing sa Alaska yun?
Meron. And DTI has been made aware about this. The government knows that there are conflicting syempre interest, 'di ba? On the part of the businesses, we need to survive, especially coming from the pandemic. As much as we do not want to do price increases because it also impacts our volume. Kasi ikaw, nanay, Gigie, 'di ba? So meron kang budget for the month. Kung meron kang 10,000 pesos, ano ba yung mga nasa listahan mo? Kasali ba yung gatas doon? Tayo mga Pinoy, we're not like the Americans or the Dutch, na part ng staple natin ang gatas. In fact, lumaki siguro tayo na iniisip natin pag meron kang fresh milk sa table. Uy, mayaman, may fresh milk, di ba?
Ay, may piyesta.
Exactly. So, we are responsible enough as a milk manufacturer to think it not only twice, but very, very carefully, are we going to increase our prices? Hindi na tayo bibilihin ng consumers.
Yes.
Di
Hindi
ba?
na masyadong...
Kasi hindi ka naman, mas they would rather buy yung mga nakalakihan natin na staple, di ba?
Yeah.
Yun. So, if the question is, do you need to do price increases? Yes. Because of, naturally, tumaas yung raw materials mo, tumaas yung conversion cost mo, pero hindi siya ganun kasimple before you decide to do price increase. Ang dami mo i-consider. Because at the end of the day, baka ikaw din ang talo dahil hindi ka nabibilhin ng tao. Diba? So rest assured, if and when Alaska Milk decides to do price increase, that's really the last straw. Diba? That is needed.
Unpreventable na.
Inevitable na siya. Kasi we also need any businessman, woman, or person would tell you, you have to earn a fair margin. Otherwise, bakit ka pa nagnegosyo?
Yeah.
Diba? Kung magbebenta ka ng patalo.
True.
Diba?
So, ayun, nagtataka lang ako. Malaking company ang Alaska, so...
Yeah. Kasi pricing ang yung mga tin cans. Ano rin yun?
Mas mura daw yun
Mas mura?
compared sa Tetra Pak.
Not necessarily. Depende kasi, madaming mga considerations yan. Yung grammage, di ba? So, I will not speak for the technical people na mas nakakaalam dyan. Pero, ang daming consideration, lalo na kami, we're now heavy on sustainability. So, consider din natin yung type of material. Ang cans, recyclable yan. Ang Tetra, may mga layers kasi yan eh. Plus yung spout pa. 'Di ba? So, hindi plastic yun eh. So, kino-consider natin yan. Bini-breakdown natin yan, inaaral natin. Alam natin na there are certain consumers that they would prefer Tetra kasi mas madali siyang store siguro, 'di ba? Pero i-consider mo overall eh before you come up with a new packaging as well. Yan. But through the years, siguro na observe nyo, nag-evolve tayo, no?
Right.
Meron na tayong sa tinatawag na shrinkflation, 'di ba? Na kung dati yung kondensada natin nasa lata, meron na rin tayo nasa sachet. 'Di ba? Pwede mo nang bilhin 'yan pampalaman sa pandesal.
Maliliit.
Ganun, no? Sachet.
Yes. Sachet. Yan.
So that's
Mas
yun yung
affordable din yun.
Mas affordable. Pero mas costly sa sa company. Kasi you have to buy new packaging materials.
Yes. Oo. So, siya, innovation siya. Innovation. Part ng innovation.
So, gaano ba kalaki? Gaano kadaming employees ng Alaska Milk?
Ngayon, siguro approximately nasa 600, including mga workers sa planta.
That's nationwide.
Oo, nationwide.
You also have, plants in other parts
No,
of
we
the
only
country?
have our manufacturing plant in San Pedro,
Okay.
Laguna.
So, 600, it's big enough.
There's a project in Batangas, isn't it? For Alaska.
No. San Pedro, Laguna.
San
ang
Pedro,
talaga
Laguna
natin.
lang.
Ang home natin. Of course, yung administrative offices natin nasa Makati.
So, malapit lang pala. Meron bang, Chito,
Yeah.
mm-mm.
Do you have a stake in the public-private partnership program of the government?
Yes, so kanina na-mention ko na very briefly yung PNDEC, no? Yung Philippine Netherlands Dairy Excellence Center. That's about the dairy development program. But we have this umbrella of corporate purpose responsibility programs. If you will notice, we don't call it corporate social responsibility programs. We call it CPR because it's anchored on our purpose. Meaning, hindi siya dole-outs, hindi siya libre because it is part of our business. We believe kasi na yung mga partnerships natin with the government, with the community, it can only be sustainable if it's part or integrated to your business. Because otherwise, if the business is not doing good, yung CPRs mo or CSR mo would always be at the bottom. Most likely, yan yung mababump off. Diba?
Yeah.
So, if it's part of the business, hindi siya mawawala. It's always there. And Alaska has always proven itself to be a strong partner of the government in nation building. Concrete example. So, we call all of our CPR programs as Alaska Unlaran. Okay. So,
Alaska Unlaran.
wordplay between Alaska and Kaunlaran or development, diba? So there are several pillars, one of which is about health or nutrition. We call it Alaska Lusugan. Okay. So we have this partnership with the Department of Education since 2017, yung Adapt a School program. So we provide milk to last mile schools. So, dati kami yung namimili. Nag-start to sa sa Tacloban after Yolanda. Yes, so we provide milk to malnourished kids from kinder to grade 6.
Powdered milk?
Powdered milk. So, it's for schools na mataas yung malnourished and stunted kids. Kinukuha namin yung data sa DepEd. But lately, since DepEd has started supplying fresh milk also to schools, sila na yung nag-request na, Alaska, pwede bang sa mga last mile schools kayo mag-supply? Kasi logistically, mas kaya daw ni Alaska. So, it's for 120 days. Dire-diretso siya, kinder to grade 6 for malnourished and stunted kids. As we speak, we've already nourished about 120,000 kids nationwide out of that pillar. Then we also have the Alaska Runungan, Alaska and Karunungan naman. I would call it an experiment. So alam naman natin, lahat tayo nagpapalit ng mga computers, no? From time to time. So we donated our used computers in a native tribe in Calawis, Rizal, dumagat, sa mga dumagat.
Sa mga IPs.
Yes, sa mga IPs. Kasi we do recognize marginalized sila in terms of opportunity, di ba? Learning opportunities, and later on, how can they compete if they don't even know how to use computers, di ba? So we donated it to a community there, and then nagsimula kami na kami rin yung nagtuturo dun sa mga bata. So yung aming IT group, sila ang nag-develop ng module, and then sila din yung nagtuturo. Then we also ask volunteer employees. Nakakatuwa naman, dinededicate talaga nila yung Saturdays nila, sometimes even Sundays, going there teaching the kids. And then after the lockdown, we transferred it to the public elementary school in Calawis. Then sila na yung nagtuloy. Then ngayon, we are talking with some partners, with other companies to partner with us. Kasi we do recognize, hindi lang naman Alaska ang may monopoly ng kagustuhang tumulong, no? Other companies as well. So, yan. Hopefully, matuloy-tuloy namin ang Alaska Runungan. And then, moving on, we also have a pillar on livelihood, which is Alaska Buhayan.
Alaska Buhayan naman.
Nag-iisip ka pa, ano yung susunod mo?
Swak yung no, na yung last syllable ng Alaska.
Oo, ang dali nga.
Oo, ang daling
Alaska.
dugtungan.
Ang daling dugtungan. So, Alaska Buhayan naman is all about livelihood. Okay, so we started this in 2019, even before the pandemic. Okay. We actually started in partnership with Angat Buhay. Sila yung nagbigay sa amin ng model. Diba? Kasi gusto namin, sabi namin, paano kaya tayo makakatulong dun sa mga communities using our culinary milk? So, ang ginawa namin, meron kaming chef, tapos pupunta kami sa community, yung normally mga nanay, hindi ko ini-stereotype ang mga nanay ha, at ang mga kababaihan. Kung tatay ka at gusto mong mag-join, free.
Pwede.
O regardless of your sexual orientation or preference or whatnot. Free, punta ka doon. And then, meron kaming chef, tuturuan na kayong magluto ng mga simple but nutritious food,
Using
mga meals, di ba? Including magkano mo siya pwede ibenta per serving. Di ba? Tapos may libre patikim pa kasi lahat kayo makakatikim ng niluto ni chef. Di ba? At the end of the program, meron kang loot bag or startup kit. So, ano yung kapalit na hinihingi namin? Commitment. Di ba? Commitment na gagamitin mo yung startup kit. Either as a backyard business, pwede ka magbenta sa kapitbahay mo. O kung ayaw mo naman, at least makapag-serve ka naman ng nutritious meal sa pamilya mo.
Sa pamilya.
Diba?
Pwede rin yun.
Pwede rin yun, di ba? Kasi using your evaporada condensada, ano ba yung mga ulam na pwede? Si Gigie ang tatanungin ko, bilang hindi ako marunong magluto.
sopas.
Sopas. No?
Sopas, di ba? Nandun din ang DTI. Partner natin si DTI. So si DTI naman, nagsasalita siya, nag-speak siya. Kung ikaw, lumago na yung negosyo mo or naisip mo na, uy, gusto ko ng gawing seryoso. Paano ba ako magpaparegister ng business? Yan. Tapos meron din tayong nutritionist. Ituturo naman sa'yo, ano ba yung pinggang Pinoy? Ano ba yung dapat na nandun sa pinggang Pinoy? Di ba? Merong meron niyang mga kailangan percentage. Daily diet mo, di ba? Ayan. So, yun yung Alas Kabuhayan. So far, since we started it in 2019, meron na tayong 1,500 beneficiaries. Nationwide din, nationwide. So, some LGUs, nire-request talaga yan. Kasi they think na, it has a direct impact to the livelihood of their constituents. Ayan. And of course, yung natin ngayon, star natin is Alas Kalikasan.
Yan.
Hulaan nyo, ano naman yun?
Environment.
Environment, siyempre.
Environment naman yun, di ba? So, sabi nga ng mga Gen Z ay humble bragging. Magka-humble brag muna ako. No? So, nung last year, November, we were certified as a net zero plastic waste brand. Yes. So, meaning, 100% of the plastics that we have generated in the market through our packaging, we were able to neutralize that or offset that. Siguro, ang question nyo is, how did you manage to do that, Alaska? Even before the implementation of the EPR law. Diba? The EPR law mandates kasi huge pieces to recover your own plastics na generate mo in the market. So kami, sabi ko kanina, di ba, na before the lockdown, bumibili talaga ako ng dyaryo eh. Di ba? Nagbabasa ako papunta sa opisina. So one day, nabasa ko yung isang article about a certain community in one city. Meron silang rat infestation.
Okay.
Tapos ginawa ng isang kapitan, siya na, manghuli kayo ng mga daga, itutubusin ko yan ng 1 kilo of bigas. So sabi ko sa team ko, uy, magandang idea yun Try kaya natin yon. Mag-redeem tayo ng ng plastics, mga sachets, palitan natin ng powdered milk. Diba? Two-pronged approach siya eh. Ino-orient or ine-educate mo yung community how to sort and collect your own waste, and at the same time, yung mental availability and physical availability ng powdered milk or awareness about nutrition. Kasi surprisingly, hindi sila aware na may powdered milk si Alaska. And sabi ko, hindi naman staple natin mga Pinoy ang gatas. So when they started, naging habit siya, diba? Habit forming siya. So, maiisip mo, uy, magkokolekta lang ako ng basura ko, isusurrender ko sa munisipyo, may kapalit ng gatas. So, nasanay ka ngayon, everyday umiinom ka na ng gatas. At nasanay ka rin na everyday, kinokolekt mo yung basura mo. Diba? So, that's one route na ginawa namin in partnership with big LGUs. Like San Pedro Laguna, Manila, Quezon City, yan. And then, we also have partnership with Plastic Credit Exchange. I'm sure you've heard about it. It was founded by Miss Nanette Medvedpo. Ayan, so they're also recovering and upcycling plastics for us. And then only recently, we have this multi-cycling upcycling facility in Antipolo. So we invested in a state-of-the-art technology wherein sachets or part of the sachet is being converted into a plyboard. So that
Plyboard?
plyboard, yes, parang I don't know kung plyboard yan. We call it wow board. Why is it called wow? Kasi wow siya eh. Wow na wow siya because it's termite proof. It's 8 times more recyclable than the usual plyboard. So, kung yung ginagamit mo na mga pillars pa nagbi-build ka ng bahay mo, afterwards, tatapon mo na lang, ito pwede mo siyang i-recycle
Recycle pa.
8 times.
How strong is it?
Pwede siyang gamitin sa mga furnitures. Pwede siya sa, ngayon tinetest na siya ng, I don't want to mention the names, but construction companies para magamit nila sa mga current projects.
Madami
nila.
sila na po-produce. I mean,
Nag-start pa lang sila 3 months ago.
Plyboard.
So, yes.
Kasi I remember one company, yung San Miguel, ano naman, yung mga plastic ginagawang roads.
True. Meron din mga bricks.
interrupt ko muna. Mukhang, yeah, napaka-interesting.
We're carried
I
away.
have questions pa, attorney, pertaining to that plastic to plyboard. So, but we have to pause for a quick break.
With Globe, our steps can lead us to millions of doors opening, millions of paths unfolding, and millions of reasons to keep going. Now's the time to be with a network that gets better every day for you.
So, welcome back mga katribu. We're
Yes,
still with Atty. Esquivel.
mukhang madami-dami pa sana yung gusto nating itanong kay Attorney Esquivel.
We just don't
So,
have enough time.
Yeah. So, Attorney, you were mentioning about this Alaska Likasan and nabanggit mo yung sa Antipolo na yung nakuha yung mga plastics ginagawang plyboard. So, from the project na since you started that, ilang toneladang plastic ang napalitan nyo ng milk?
Based on 2021 na figures namin, 900 metric tons Yun ang alpha namin, yes. So kasi, okay, let me just explain very quickly, Before you get certified as a net zero plastic waste brand, in-audit yan ng PwC. So it's not like we are, claiming that we've been certified because we're able to neutralize that 900 metric tons, no? In-audit po yan ng third-party auditing firm. So titingnan nila, ilan ba talaga yung generate nyo from your plant na plastics. Then yun yung alpha mo, yun dapat yung na-neutralize mo. Diba? So yun yung in-explain ko kanina, na-neutralize namin yung 900 metric tons through those 3 routes. So rapid redemption in partnership with the LGUs, then partnership with Plastic Credit Exchange, who's also redeeming and recycling on our behalf. And then yung pinakabago namin is yung upcycling facility in Rizal, which would help us offset our footprints starting 2023 naman.
Alright, so
And that results to what?
For this year, our target is to outdo ourselves. So we would want sana na 120%, meaning more than what we've generated.
I see. What do you get from it?
Sabi ko kanina, so I'll be giving a very honest answer. Sabi ko kanina, this is not CSR. Okay?
Yeah.
This is part of the business. And we believe that, ito yung bago naming mantra. Sustainability is business, and business is sustainability. Okay? So, sa business aspect, ano yung impact sa amin ito? Siguro, number 1, we do what is right, and we believe that what we are doing is good, diba?
Yeah.
Number 2, younger generations, they would join your company. Ano ang number 1 consideration nila ngayon?
Yeah.
Is the
correct.
company doing good?
Doing
the right thing? In terms of sustainability, how do you treat your people? Sustainability is not only environment. It's also about human rights. It's also about do you give your people, do you treat your people right? Does the company have a code of ethics? Diba? How does the company live or demonstrate integrity? Diba? Yan yung those are the principles that Alaska has always tried to live by. Yan. Of course, eventually, we hope that we could valorize this in the form of maybe converting it into sales. Meaning, our consumers, I believe, ako personally, I believe, consumers are now mindful about these things. And that's already a factor before they buy a certain product. Diba? Hindi lang, kanina pinag-usapan natin, lasa, presyo. Siguro dadating yung time, sooner rather than later, na nandun na rin sa top 3 consideration yung, is this a good company? Is this company doing right? Diba?
So, speaking of, treating employees right, meron kasing pending na bill in Congress and the Senate on the wage hike. So, what is your take as, belonging to the top management and also being the Vice President of the Philippine Chamber of Food Manufacturers?
Food manufacturers.
Yes. Okay, so siguro let me answer it this way, no? On the part of, I'm wearing the Corporate Affairs Director hat of Alaska Milk Corporation. I can only speak for our company. Even without a law that mandates improvement in wages, we regularly review the compensation structure of our company and ensure that ours is competitive in the market. Otherwise, you will lose good people. That's a reality, di ba? Okay. Now, I'm going to wear my second vice president hat of the food chamber. We need to look at the bigger picture. Not all businesses could afford regular wage hikes. 99% of our businesses are MSMEs. So we need to consider that. We need proper balance, I would say. And we trust the wise discretion of our lawmakers to really, find that healthy balance between the needs of our workers. Lahat naman tayo workers, lahat tayo sumusweldo. Lahat tayo mag-benefit doon, di ba? So gusto natin yan. But then again, why kill the egg that lays the hen that lays the golden egg, 'di ba? Sabi nga, parang pagka naman tinaasan mo ng sobra, mamamatay ang business. So pag nawala ang business, mawawalan ka ng trabaho, 'di ba? So kailangan talaga ng balance. ng proper balance, di ba?
Chito, perhaps you could ask attorney, ano ba yung mga what do
Mga milestones.
consumers expect
Sa
in the months
expectations.
and the years
Okay,
to come?
secret.
Yeah.
Surprise. Hindi. Siguro what I can assure our consumers is that we are constantly innovating. Otherwise, hindi ka makakasabay sa demands of the time. So, businesses should be dynamic, not only Alaska. But we should always find ways on how to find out what our consumers want and need. Yun naman yung lagi otherwise hindi ka nabibilhin. So, kung ngayon red tayo, but turns out that the consumers is starting to prefer white. So, titingnan natin yon. Paano ba natin i-combine si white kay red, 'di ba? Without losing that Alaska flavor. So, rest assured. And also, sabi ko nga kanina, meron na tayo ngayon Friesen Campina flavor, and Friesen Campina has a wide portfolio of products. So, surprise, maybe later on, ma-introduce na rin natin in the Philippine market yung mga Friesen Campina products bearing the brand of Alaska. Why not, di ba?
But I don't see Alaska deviating from the milk core business na.
Of course, hindi natin bibitawan yung milk. Kasi yun talaga tayo, dairy tayo, di ba? Sabi ko nga, meron pa tayong dairy development program. And yun yung dream ko. Ako personally, yun yung dream ko. And the legacy that I would want to leave with Alaska is to be able to introduce a product na talagang may local component. Meaning, masasabi ko na ito, tatak Pinoy to, tatak Alaska. Diba?
At wala pa rin tatalo sa
Wala
Alaska.
pa rin
Of
tatalo.
course.
So,
Wala pa rin
can
tatalo.
you say your last words, attorney, to our viewers na mga fan ng
It's an interesting
Alaska milk products?
discussion.
Of course, on behalf of Alaska, salamat po for always patronizing our products. We know that there are new products in the market, but rest assured that Alaska will remain to be your partner and a provider of affordable nutrition. Yan. For every Filipino family, wala pa rin tatalo.
Sa Alaska.
Well said.
So, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Attorney Esquivel, for gracing this morning show. And thank you mga katribu. Tune in again next Tuesday for another episode of Straight Talk. I am Gigie Arcilla.
And I'm Chito Lozada. So, see you
Watch Straight Talk.
next week. Watch Straight Talk every Tuesday at 10 a.m. on Daily Tribune's Facebook page and Tribune Now at YouTube too.